Aloha mahalo as we look at OKO Stick Counter number 11. Much like knife counter number 11, we have a double attack. What do I mean by this? We have an right inward to outward club swing. Whether they're attempting to hit with the end or the ponyo, where he misses in the first one. We need to deal with the attack. Once again, this is a circular attack before he gets to the apex of his strike, in which he has the most ability to transfer that energy to us. So once again, we're going to get off the line of the attack, much like we did in knife counter number 11. Once again, this is in our green zone, 12 o'clock. This time my right foot is slightly forward. Here's the line of the attack. I'm going to step drag out, and as he comes in with the outward circular backhand with the club, I'm going to step drag back in and double knife hand block. Think of it more, it could be almost like a push, but I do want to strike. Now we've deviated and deflected at this point the weapon. Now I need to control. My right hand is going to go over the palm of the hand like we did in knife counter number 11. My left hand is going to snake underneath and to control the arm and the weapon. Now I'm going to rotate at this point with his whole body. This is what we call body fusion. It's not in your notes, but body fusion is any point in which we lock our body into a fixed position and use the rotation of the rest of our bodies to affect the control. So for instance, once I have him in the snaking, I'm going to sink my elbows in and pretend that my elbows are now fused to my ribs. The only parts of my body now that can move are my hips and my feet. And I'm going to rotate. I'm going to unfuse my right elbow for a moment for that right elbow strike. Once again, body fusion, rotation, strike. I'm going to control release, let me turn this way, my left hand to grab the stick. Begin to strip it from my opponent. As I do so, now I'm going to control release with my right and grab the weapon. And as I return the weapon towards my body, I'm going to hit whatever's open. Whether I use the ponyo or whether I use the blunt end, I'm going to strike as I come out. I'm going to clear his right arm because I want to get that front bear hug to take him down. So once again, open up any target. I'm going to rotate. I'm going to shift weight to my right leg to allow my left leg to come up for that roundhouse kick to the thigh, affecting his stability and mobility. I'm going to step drag in. I'm going to circle the stick around my opponent to help use his control. Notice my elbows drop to maintain control for that front bear hug, arms free. From there, I'm going to off weight him. In this particular case, I'm going to bring his weight towards me, and I can use either an in-place stance change or an up clock, down clock to take him down to the ground. And then once he's down on the ground, I'm going to follow up, cross out, covering all 360 degrees, and on guard. So what lessons and concepts do we have here? This is a now attack, or more aptly put, now! In other words, when they move, you move. We're dealing with a high severity of an attack. This is a club, which is included in our knives, clubs, and guns are now attacks. The second he moves, you're going to respond. We also want to get off the line of the attack. We want to give ourselves an opportunity to evaluate the situation and how best to respond. We also want to go to a zone of sanctuary. In this particular case, it's going to be towards the rear of our opponent. Once again, since this is a weapon, we deviate, deflect, control, and then eventually disarm our opponent. We have affected our opponent's stability and mobility with the roundhouse kick to the leg. We have used a control release of our opponent's arms so that we could then strip the weapon, and off-weighting to allow us to throw our opponent. In other words, once our opponent is in a 50-50 weight distribution, it's difficult to take them down. In order to take them down, I need to shift their weight towards one leg or another to allow me to manipulate their height, width, and depth in order to take them down. A lot of fun stuff in stick counter number 11. Shall we call it sister techniques to knife counter number 11. With that, aloha, mahalo, mele kalikimaka, and live pono.